welcome to today's lesson. I'm going to be walking you through 3 Jerry Reed riffs in a bid to get to know the man better. I do think you can learn a lot about someone by checking out the way that they play. It sort of gives you an idea how they think, shows you some of their quirks, okay? And I think that Jerry Reed was a very quirky player, and I also feel like there's kind of humour and a lot of efficiency. I don't know if those two things go together specifically, but yeah, a lot of humour and efficiency in his playing. Just fantastic. So I'm going to walk you through these 3 riffs and show you the things that I really like. If you would like the full lesson on these 3 riffs, you'd have to join my Patreon. But of course, you get so many other things as well. You'll get the transcription. I'll organise a sound slice where you know the tabs will scroll as I play those, and you can slow it down and do all that stuff. That's all stuff that I offer through my Patreon. And it's just a great way to support the channel if you enjoy my videos. There's a couple options, $2, $5, $10, or $20 a month. There's not a big difference with what you get with all of them. It's really just, you know, whatever you can contribute if that's something you'd like to do. Alternatively, you can grab a t-shirt. I've got t-shirts and mugs and stuff. You can't see my t-shirt. It's under there. My mug's out of reach. I did not plan this really well. Let's get on with the lesson. Oh, and don't forget, if you do want to get more into this fingerpicking style, check out my Thumbpick Bootcamp course. I promise you it will prepare you really well for anything that you want to do in the realm of fingerpicking. So check that out. And by the way, I'm using a Black Mountain pick today. Great pick. Check them out too. So, you would have seen the first song that I played was Jerry's Breakdown. Very classic tune, very banjo-oriented, has a great sound, and a very desirable sound for a guitar player to achieve, actually, because it's really cool. Everybody wants to play banjo. If you can get a little bit of that sound on the guitar, why not? So, what is it, in my opinion, that makes this song so amazing? Well, obviously the banjo thing, the banjo rolls that he's adapted to the guitar, and the efficiency in which he's executed it. Okay, so let's have a little bit of a look at that intro. That's pretty straightforward, I guess. We're just sort of pinching. And then what he does here, he slides from the 3 to 4. I guess he comes in pretty quick with that. And then what he's doing is what we call a reverse roll. I guess it starts as sort of a forward and then goes into a reverse roll, which has a little kink in it. I'm playing that wrong. That's better. So you can see there that right hand's just rolling and the left hand's not doing as much as it seems to be doing. Okay, so that's a really, really cool little thing. And then there's little things that he does by just adjusting the left hand that almost create this inner melody to it. So he lifts that finger in the middle of that roll, and it sets up the step back to the E from the E chord. Really, really intelligent. The right hand's busy doing all this stuff, and the left hand's just making little adjustments. It's very banjo, but he was clever enough to bring that to the guitar, which it's a slightly different instrument, as you can imagine. And then simplicity, he just picks, which to me almost just gives the ear a break. Then in the next part here, and this is where, you know, you see some of the quirks that I talked about. So we walk in, we say that same pattern forward, like a forward roll, then a reverse roll. Or like a, I guess, yeah, I can't remember, I think it's called a kink in banjo. You do a little forward, we get started going that way, and then an interrupted roll maybe? Can't remember, but you can see what's going on there, very clever. Picks on the third, second, third, and then rolls backwards. Really cool stuff. And then coming out of that, he does this, he does a little hold, so holds, slides back, plays the 2, does the roll, open, and then rolls, lands on that 2, and then what happens is he actually puts this like 3-note mini chord there on the second beat, not on the first, and that actually really did my head in when I was learning it. There. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay. Again, that's what I would call a quirk. Why put a fatter kind of note or cluster of notes on the second beat? That it just seems unusual to me. That's one of the things that makes his playing sound really cool. Also, his use of triplets. He always had a little bit of a funky sound, and I think a lot of it was in his triplet playing. So that was really cool. That's Jerry's breakdown. That song goes, it gets harder. It gets, need to brush up on that. Maybe this is why I didn't do more of the song. But anyhow, you can see it just goes on and has really clever, very efficient... Yeah, I'm going to leave that alone for now. I need to go back over that. But you can see very, very efficient playing. He's doing a lot with the right hand. The left hand is not working as hard as it would seem. Doesn't mean his pieces are easy to learn. That you have to learn them right. You have to put your fingers in the right spot. You have to get the patterns right, and you got to take your time. Once you've got them flowing, though, they can be easier than they look because he was such an efficient player, which I'm going to show you a little bit in the next one. So let's look at the next one, the claw. Okay, and even in that little pattern there, I'm going to show you that in a bit more detail because it's something you'll want to pinch for your playing. It's just brilliant. Now with this one, the first thing that I really like is how the sort of that classic lead-in rockabilly lick, jazz licks. You see it in a few different styles. Okay, so it's in the key of A, going to the 6th degree, the F sharp. Instead of playing the E there on the 5th fret, he's used the open string. I love that. And then the right hand does all the work. 3rd string, 1st string gets plucked with the 3rd finger. Okay. So the next thing that's really cool is after he's done that, hit the 1st string, when he plays that 7th fret, he just takes that up to the 10th fret and does a double stop. Slides into that double stop. 3rd finger doesn't even have to lift off the board. Neither does the 2nd finger. So we get that double stop. Then we do just a regular double stop there on the 8 and the 8. Then we play the 7 on the 4th. And then we get that really funky, almost chicken picking here. Just sounds great. And that little funky chord there. How does he hear that stuff? How did he hear that stuff? I don't know. I just think it's really quirky, really funky. Yeah, just totally busted out of the country genre, just doing all this really cool stuff. Then, to give himself time and a full sound in moving, he hits that 5th string open, and it gives him time to move. So it sort of fills the gap by just plucking that 5th string. There. And then you've got time to move the hand. Just always had something to cover him. It's like giving himself covering fire or something. Okay. Then we've got this really funky little note here. It's like the blues note. So he's playing like A minor blues, but in his own really cool way. Okay. So then just a cool little riff there. Mixing blues and also a bit of major pentatonic there in A with the F sharp. Okay. So cool. There's his triplet again. Alright, now this pattern here as well, you got to remember he came under the nose of Chet Atkins, okay? Under the nose, not in a bad way. Like he became noticed by Chet Atkins, and Chet Atkins just absolutely loved him. Produced a few of his records, and at that time, everyone was trying to do that, and he was finding his own things. He was, play it correctly, that's better. So what he's doing there, at that point, is he's picking the A string, then he's using his finger on the... He actually didn't use his 1st finger, he used his 2nd, 3rd, and pinky, by the way. And he would pick the 5th string, 4th string, pluck the... excuse me, the 3rd and the 2nd, like that, hit the 6th string, just like that, and we would finish 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, he wasn't restricting himself to any kind of rules or you know, trying to finish a bass note on a particular beat. He really came up with his own rhythm, and it's a idea of 3 in an even scenario. So we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So with 1, 2, 3. So bass note, middle note, top 2 notes, same thing. And the alternating note, it's not even 1 and 2 and, it's happening on the and. So we're getting, he often used this dotted crotchet feel with the bass line. Boom, 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 boom. So again, a real funky kind of feel to it. So that's some of the things that I really love in the Claw, but you see in all of his playing. The last one, which I'm going to be honest with you, did my absolute head in trying to get a takedown just for this video, because it's really tricky to play. You would think it's the easiest of them, but I'm finding it the hardest. And Dean, if you're watching, he's one of my students who's learning this. I reckon I should have just got you to play it for the video. You would definitely have played it better than I did. But anyhow, I'm going to show you what I really like. So this is Jerry Reed's almost like self-accompanied melodic style. So we've got that little funky walking, no big deal. But if you watch the way he uses the guitar, he just reaches across the strings to get the notes he wants, rather than thinking in a vertical single line fashion. If we look at this little melody, G, G sharp, B, and then C sharp, he's just playing a scale here. And if I play it in a straight line scale, again, a very cliche lick, but when we reach across the strings to get it, G, G sharp, open B, on the second string, come back to the third string to get the 6, like that. Just beautiful. So, again, that efficiency, but in this next part here, the way he creates this beautiful walking bass line. I'm not even going to get into every little bit of melody and how he's using the strings brilliantly. We know he does that now, you get that. Let's have a look at what he's done with the bass line here. Now, he plays a note, and as he slides into the next one, he hits the bass note. Just beautiful. And this chromatic tension that he's building in the bass line with a seemingly sparse melody, it's just perfect. And it sounds like there's so much more going on. So, as we come in, 6, and he's constantly anticipating the 1 as well. Okay, so it starts off pretty chill. So we're anticipating the 1, and 1, and 2, and again on the R1. So, oh, hang on. Sorry, I was playing the rhythm wrong there. There we go. So that is on the R, and the melody's on the 1. Our ear probably kind of wants to hear the bass note on the 1, and your ear and your brain will kind of put it there anyway, and that's what gives it that anticipated feel. We're just coming in a little bit before the 1. So, there we go, okay? So, you can tell, look, it took me a lot of goes to get this right before. I'm doing a pretty bad job of even playing it now, but hopefully you're getting the idea of what makes it so cool. So, I'll play that once more. Again, anticipating that 1 with the melody, sliding, and that does land on the 1 this time, the bass. Oh. But that 9 there was on the R1, okay? So check that out. Okay? You kind of don't even notice, but that's happening before the next bar. A 1, then we get the same thing. 1, a 2, a 1, a 2. Okay? And again, funky little jazz chords basically in the context of, I don't know, what genre would you call this? I don't even know. Okay, there's a good reason to comment if you can tell me what genre that you would call this sort of style. So I'm not going to spend too much more time on that riff because I'm not good enough at it. I really need to spend more time on that. So, but you can see it's just full of rhythmic push, by landing before the 1 with the bass note, or even bringing the melody in right on the and he's playing late on beats of a fairly slow song, which just gives it a really hanging back but pushing forward feel. I don't know. It's just amazing. Music's amazing. It's unbelievable. Jerry Reed was unbelievable. I think he's one of the most underrated guitar players who ever have existed, because people, I think he was so efficient. I think people just couldn't understand how brilliant he really was, because he made it all sound so easy. You know, it's like when someone does make something look so easy, you don't realize that it's that challenging until you try it. And you get to know the man a little better. And you get to know the music a little better, and then you realize there was a lot more going on than you thought. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. A little bit of education on a really awesome guitar player. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.